Hello, hello, everyone. I'm about 30 minutes late from starting my stream. Yeah, it's been a week. It's definitely been a week. Let's change our. It is Saturday Live, but it is no longer the 1st. It is the 8th. It is the day before the Super Bowl. And we are streaming. Yeah, it was a long week, except it wasn't, but it was. I had a lot going on. Trying to prep for the Super Bowl. Tried to play some Star Citizen. I was able to get in once, but not I had to try a lot to get into the game. What's up, gamer Crampsy? What's up, Disarray? What's up, Ristal? Yep. Just been a lot of trying to get into the game and failing, and if you can't even get in the game, you can't do Save Stanton Chapter 2. So or I guess it's Save Pyro now? I don't know. Let me know, chat. Let me know what teams you've chosen. Did you choose the Frontier Fighters? Did you do the Citizens of Prosperity? What'd you do? All right, today I am going to go and check out some news while we let a few people trickle in. Let's see. All right, let's go see if Star Citizen dropped some news. Let's check. What are we checking? All right, let's check. Not Comlinks. Comlinks and Dev Tracker. Nope, doesn't look like anything on the Comlinks. There's some Dev Tracker stuff yesterday. Let's see, Fan Kit 2025. Okay, I'm definitely downloading that. Okay, a fan kit is coming with 4.0.2 or whenever it's ready. So if you don't know, a fan kit includes a whole bunch of stuff for like content creators or anybody can download it. But the idea is that it's like a bunch of unique thumbnails and stuff like that that you can download, along with a lot of unique pictures and backgrounds and stuff like that. So that's one thing. Comlink was pretty light, but we didn't go over the subscriber promotion, so we could do that. All right, fan kit. And then patch notes for Evocati. All right, let's check this one out. Let's do the patch notes for Evocati real quick. All right. All right, so let's see. They're working on stability, performance, and bug fixing. That's great. And then they have the supply or die event. Supply or die is Pyro's answer to Jump Town from the Stanton system. The event will run through the PTU cycle in 4.0.2 and have factions to join. This is going to be a PvP event once out of Evocati, but during this time, keep the Evocati No PvP rule in effect until further waves are open. Huh. Okay. That looks like it'll be interesting, but nobody really goes to Jumptown anymore. I mean, not consistently. I think they changed it. The reason that people used to go to Jumptown, I think they changed it and made it like I think you make less money or something now. They could have kept it the same way and used it as a constant way. Maybe they could have changed Jumptown to be on like 3 different planets and you had to find out which one was producing the most. And then it's 3 different planets and with 3 different Jumptown like events. But yeah, I just think they I don't think they kept enough of the old version of Jumptown to keep the people who used to make Jumptown jump. They didn't keep enough of those things that drew people out for the gameplay. Oh, actually, let me I don't know if you guys can even read this, so let me zoom in a little bit. Let's see. They got some blockers and some criticals here, but we came here for the features and the gameplay. All right. Gameplay. Max player look rotation scale for the dedicated tractor tool has been reduced to add a bit more of a weighty feel to heavier items. Added new distance values to the spawning of salvage ships around rest stops to avoid cleanup. Let's see. Ships and vehicles. Misfortune, LOD and Art Polish Pass, Mirai Guardian, LOD Transition Polish, Tumble Storm, removed extra personal storage, set correct storage amount, changed LOC name for all personal storages. Core Tech, further networking changes to help load times, AI planet navigation performance polish, instance hangar performance optimizations, further lighting and rogue entity performance, polished patch for Stanton landing zones, added new distance values to the spawning of salvage ships around rest stops to avoid cleanup. All right, nothing like super interesting, except I would say the Tumbril Storm thing if you're a huge Tumbril Storm player, but I don't think there's a lot of those people right now. So, yeah, this is the big part. Fixed 5 client crashes, fixed 10 server crashes, fixed a hybrid crash, fixed a client deadlock. That's what we like to see. All right, so let's see if they got anything else. Make sure if you have a question, you drop it in the chat and we will answer it. I think that was, oh wait. Yeah, I think that was it. Oh, we're going to check out the subscriber promotions if you haven't seen them already. I'm sure it's Koromor themed. Oh, yeah, it's Koromor themed. So let's check this out. Bam. So you get the bed, the pillow, and the couch. So the pillows, you get, what do you get? 2 of these? It says cushion set, so I'm assuming you get 2. Imperator gets the couch. Centurion gets the pillows. And then everybody has to buy the bed. And then you can get like a pack with multiple pillows, the couch. You get an extra set of pillows if you get the pack. This is a cool thing. Like, I think because I'm getting a Heartseeker at some point in the very near future, this makes sense to me because it's Heartseeker themed. So yeah, to me this makes sense. I'm probably gonna try to figure out a way to like take a picture of this in front of my Heartseeker. Maybe I'll like be laid on the bed or something, you know, sprawled out. My character. But yeah, it's very expensive, and you know how we generally don't suggest people buy these things. So I got these 2 for free because I am a subscriber, but this you had to use store credit for, and then of course you could get the pack and save some money. But I mean, altogether it's what, $22 So you're saving $2.20, it looks like, by getting the pack. Oh no, because you get it two sets of pillows. So you're saving $6.20 technically, if you actually get two sets of pillows. Let me see. Yeah, you get two sets of pillows. So yeah, so you save a little bit more. This should probably say 26 then. But yeah, and then there's some vehicles of the month, the Zeus CL and the Zeus CS. So that's always cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You expect core more theme stuff on in February. That's par for the course. Not a lot going on in Star Citizen, but I think we're not hearing a lot for obvious reasons. Shout out to Jared for coming back to work when going through such a tough time. Cause yeah, I lost my dad like whoo. I lost my dad like had to be 15 years ago now, and then I lost my mom 6 years ago. So like definitely understand like that he needs some time to come back. So you know, hope he takes all the time he needs. Um, it's Star Citizen is a patience game anyway. Uh, it's definitely a patience game. So we shouldn't be like, uh, you know, we shouldn't be trying to press people to hurry up anyway. What's up, San Chimera? Jackal, D14, San Chi. Oh, I already said San Chimera. Red Samurai, what's up? Jumptown, gotta bust out the hull A. Going to get the Heartseeker ship with the Heartseeker bed and say, hey, lady, want to see my. Ah, I love it. Are you going to buy the Heartseeker Mark II CCU'd or are you going to buy the OC outright? Oh, definitely CCU'd. Definitely CCU'd. So for me, I'm pretty much done buying ships outright. If I add a ship, it's normally because I have another ship to upgrade to it. So yeah. So like when I say I'm done purchasing ships, that's generally what I mean is I'm done purchasing them outright or using like new money. The only new money I would put in is enough for the CCU from one of my previous ships. So for this one, my Razor EX is going to become the Heartseeker. And then at some point, I'll probably get the Heartseeker or I'll probably get the Razor EX back from like a referral or something like that. So dumb buying furniture for real money. Granted, ships isn't that too far off. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not a good idea to buy furniture for money. I think I use store credit, so I think if you have the credit, you can. It depends on what you want to do. I'm really just getting it for the meme. Like I'll probably take the pictures with it, put it in some interesting places, and then cash it back in. The Idris is coming with Squadron 42, so not till 2026, which I think is what gives them. I think the Idris is done. I think it's just sitting in a warehouse somewhere. Maybe getting slight little work done to it over time. Maybe they use it as kind of a task for oncoming people. Like, hey, here's a ship that's already done. Why don't you go add some more detail to this particular room or this particular room, um, just so you can kind of see how the system works. So that's what my guess is. But it's definitely not coming. They said the Idris would release with Squadron 42. So I think that they're just holding it back for that particular reason. There's a lot of people and a lot of Idrises, so it's going to be real interesting when that thing comes. So the answer to your question is 2026. We don't know what month. How are we doing on the save pyro thing? The second chapter of the event. Did anybody, or did they even release all of it yet? Or is it just like the first chapter? Because I haven't been able to get in. I tried twice to get in, or no, I tried 3 times, and I was only able to get in once, and that was when I was trying to, what was I doing? Oh, I was trying to get video of the F8C executive for my last video. No CCUs to the Idris. None of the hull limited ships. You can't upgrade to any of the hull limited ships. Same. I don't know how to say your name. Is that Samir? Samir 3D. I kit sicked. I I kit sicked. I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but welcome. So, Perseus at Invictus, they did say with the Polaris, the rest of the RSI should come faster. Second chapter is the last one. I just finished it for Frontier Fighters and Headhunters. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll get the Perseus at Invictus. They're behind on certain things though, so it's possible that we don't. But at the very least, we'll get a major update on it. I'm hoping that we get it by Invictus though. This is kind of a rough patch for CIG because they released 4.0 and then immediately had to release a hot fix, and that then immediately had to release another hot fix. So I think they're really working on stabilizing 4.0 because once 4.0 is stable, remember there's no more, you know, changing out your stats and all of that stuff until 1.0. So you're going to get to keep all of your progress, all of your money, everything you've grinded to get. You're going to be able to keep that. So to me, that's awesome. I've kind of been waiting for that. But at the same time, I need that stability because I do want Star Citizen to be the primary game that I play right now. I can't make it my primary game because it's not consistent enough. But that's okay because I'm patient with stuff like that. You said the rewards are already out? Okay. Yeah, so I have not done the second chapter yet. I'm looking to try to do it next week. Sorry to anybody who tried to play with me Monday and Wednesday. I tried to hop on, could not get into the game. Yeah, I know there was a few people that were like really trying to get in with me and they couldn't. So I'm still super behind on my Misfortune review. I'm again gonna try to get it done this week. I actually want to go out and fly the ship. I don't like doing ship reviews without flying the ship. So I need to actually get in and take it out and do some salvaging with it. Not changing stats. I mean, there's no more wipes. From what I remember, they said no more wipes until 1.0. I think 4.0 is the last. So with 4.0 being the last wipe until 1.0, I think that means you'll be able to keep a lot more of your progress and stuff like that. Don't go out and buy 3 million ships because people don't like to have their ASOP terminal all maxed out and having to scroll down for everything. But I honestly, at this point, I think CIG should let us just spawn into our hangars, um, and that should be the queue. And then we don't have to worry about like whether the transit system messes up. Like imagine, because like it takes you a good 5 minutes to get from, if you're on planet at least, to get from like where you are on planet when you spawn to get to your actual elevators that will take you to your ship and or to your hangar. And to me, why not just have us spawn, directly into the hangar and just wait until the hangars are clear? At least until they fix the issue. What's up, Voodoo? What's up, Colton? The rewards won't be just credits for this, I heard, in-game rewards. But they didn't. What's up, Der Macabre? But they didn't rule out rollbacks if something really f's up the economy and they can't fix it otherwise. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful that this particular 4.0.2 patch is going to bring a lot of fixes. At least stability fixes, right? I don't need everything fixed, but a lot more stable. Colton says, new to your Discord, is there also an org? Not yet. I'm launching the org this summer. That's the only time I'll have time to actually, get everything together. I wanted to actually start taking like applications this month, but it's been busy. So yeah, but I will definitely have an org. There's other people that have other orgs already on my Discord, so feel free to hop on and join any of those. But my org is going to be limited to 100 people. And it'll be like an application system where you have to fill out an application before we play. And yeah, that'll be it. But yeah, I have to put so much stuff together for the org. And I don't want to give you guys some janky org thing without putting any effort into it. They want to shift their focus on stability and fixing this year and not on feature creep. Yes, they said that in that that last ISC that they did, or I guess it was Star Citizen Live, not ISC. So yes, they're definitely focusing on stability and fixing issues, which I think will be huge because there's no more massive jumps for the game until we get to 1.0. So like 4.0 is it. Like we're going to get 4.0.2 and then we're going to get 4.0.3 most likely, and then we'll get 4.1 and then 4.2, and it'll start going from there. And the idea is we're not going to get quarterly updates anymore, like quarterly patches. It's going to be more, I don't want to say like consistent, but like the idea is the patch is done when the patch is done, rather than just saying it's got to come out in 3 months and you got to get everything done in 3 months. Like it might be 2 months, it might be ready in 2 months and we boom, drop it. Or, it might be ready in 4 months and then it's dropped in 4 months. But I definitely appreciate the fact that they're working on bug fixes and stability. Veterans auto accepted? What kind of veterans? Are we Air Force? Are we Coast Guard? Are we Army, Marine, Navy? What are we? Because it definitely would not be all veterans. Maybe all combat veterans with 2 tours. And one of them, at least one of them, has to be to Iraq or Afghanistan. Maybe. It's a 2-stage application process, so maybe they'll automatically make it to the second round, but it wouldn't be an auto acceptance. Army 14 plus. Okay. Yeah, I was Army 9 for 9. There's nothing wrong with being an MP. Nothing wrong with being an MP. All right, so a few things I wanted to talk about. So I did launch a new channel or two new channels. So go check out Billionaire Burner or Billionaire Carbon, and make sure you subscribe on there. More content will be coming for those soon. Those are much easier videos to film and stuff because they're not, detail oriented. It's more just video gameplay. But I was going to try to do that stuff today, but I needed a day to relax because the Super Bowl tomorrow is going to be crazy. Uh, Drop in the chat who you're rooting for in the Super Bowl. Whether it's Eagles or Chiefs, if you even care about the Super Bowl, put that in the chat as well. Say, hey, I don't even care about the Super Bowl. Because I know everybody's not, American in the chat. So some people are probably like, what is that? We don't care. But here, at least in my state, New York, it's a huge deal. So yeah, I'll definitely have a lot going on tomorrow. But I want to mess around with the misfortune as soon as possible. So if I can't get into it tonight, I'm gonna try to get into it tomorrow morning, uh, and see if I can actually mess around with it so I can start writing this review. So far, all I've got is the stats written. Technically, I started writing it, but only all the stats and stuff. What's up, Shimpasta? What's up, Scorched Cheddar? When I was seconded to security on NAS Oceana, they made fun of some of the full-time MAs or MPs because several of us part-timers who normally fix jets or run a desk would outshoot them on the weapons quals. Yeah, there's a lot of people that will outshoot you because they've been, handling guns since they were, 7 years old. Where some of us, the first time we actually held a gun in our hand was when we got into the military. So there's definitely a lot of people uh, who can shoot better than active duty Army folks. So I took to it uh, fairly slow. Like if my first 4 years in the military, I was a terrible shot. And then it's like in my fifth year, something happened to where I understood it. And then I just got better and better and better. And then by the time I got to my last unit, I was expert every time. So, it just depends on, what type of learner you are and what type of training you had. And some of it people might have not even received until they got like into the military. Uh Macabre says from Germany here, so it's not that big over here. Talking about the Super Bowl, but it gains popularity. Only ever watched Super Bowl once because some buddies are into it, and I got a home cinema. Yeah, I think the Super Bowl is fun because of a lot of different reasons, right? So like, uh, it depends on what you're into, but like a lot of people watch it because of they have very unique and very expensive commercials during the Super Bowl. Not just the commercials, obviously, but the halftime show is normally pretty big. This year to be a rapper though, so I don't know if everybody's into rap, but it will be Kendrick Lamar doing the Super Bowl halftime show, and I think he's bringing out an R&B artist. I can't remember the name. I think it's SZA. I'm pretty sure it's SZA. So there's that. And then of course the game. If you learn to understand football, it's actually a really fun game to watch. Um, when people aren't, getting injured and stuff. But yeah. I'm ready for the year of Star Citizen to truly start. It normally doesn't start until Coromore. That's normally like basically you got after Christmas, which leads you to like mid to late January. I'd say late January now. And then you have the In Case You Missed It sale now is going to be a January thing. That's going to be mid January. And then end of January, you're going to get Lunar New Year, and then which is Red Fest. And then February 13th or 14th, you get, I think they said 14th is when you get Coremore. And I think Coremore is the last event of the break. And then we start getting like Star Citizen content pretty much weekly after that. So I'm hoping that Coremore, and I think 4.0.2 comes with Coremore because I think that's the way that they're introducing the Super Hornet and the Mark II. I don't know if the Wildfire is in there. If anybody is not NDA'd and can talk about it, let me know. But yeah, I don't know if the Wildfire is coming, the Hornet Wildfire. But I don't think so because they have the Urkel stats for pretty much everything that's coming with 4.0.2, and I didn't see it in there. But let me check one more time. Does anybody here did anybody here when they were doing the Mark Ones? Did any of you have the Hornet Wildfire? Let me see. Anvil Hornet. Yeah, I see F7C Hornet Wildfire Mark 1, but I do not see Mark 2. I do see the Heartseeker Mark 2 and the base Hornet. So let's take a look at those because I did this on another stream, but I don't think a lot of people saw it, so I'm going to do it one more time. So we're going to take the new Super Hornet. And yeah, we're going to compare these. We'll put the let's put the Scorpius up there as well. And we'll put the F8C up there. Or should we? Nah, I mean the F8C isn't really comparable. Let's do the Guardian QI. All right. So take a little trip with me. To Urkel. All right. Think we can. Yeah. Let's zoom in. There we go. We can zoom out one. There we go. All right. So. Oh no, we might have to zoom out one more. Yeah. We gotta zoom. We gotta stay right here so that we can see the numbers. All right. So. This is the Heartseeker Mark II. As you can see, 2 size 3s, 2 size 4s. It comes with revenants. And then, oh, did they change this? Does this come? No way this comes empty now. No way. Or is this because, oh wait, it says update. Sorry, we have to update. All right. So why is this showing? It had size 4s in here. Did they nerf it already? I don't remember what was in here. I'm gonna put rhinos in here just because I don't remember what was in here. But it was 2 size 4s. There were 2 size 4s in here. So I don't know if they changed it or what. But that was the main reason I was getting it. So if they got rid of it and it doesn't come with that anymore, then I'm probably not gonna get it. But my thing about this was there were 2 size 4s here, 2 size 4s here, and then you had 2 size 3s. And obviously, this would be controlled, the two size fours here would be controlled by the second operator. But because the primary operator can control two size fours and two size threes, that makes it to where you don't need that secondary pilot. Obviously, you should have that secondary pilot to be the most effective, but you don't need them. And that is something that I think is really cool because most of the time I wouldn't take it out because I don't have a second person with me. But if you have that, you know, the two size threes and two size fours, that's solid. You know, you could do some solid damage with that. But you know, this is, yeah. So if you look here, this one has the instead of the, so this has the same base, right? Two size twos, two size fours, right? And then, and this is how I know. So this comes with two size threes and then a missile turret, I'm assuming. So extra missiles. Now, as far like me now knowing that missiles are going to be more expensive and stuff like that, I'm probably going to stay away from things that shoot lots of missiles. You know, the A2 I'll keep, you know, to drop a few bombs. The Eclipse I really have just, that's really going to be something I have just because it's cool looking, not really looking to shoot a whole bunch of those size nines. And it's especially seeing how easily the Idris can just pop those missiles like balloons. To me, that makes me kind of reel back a little bit, like, don't think I'll be doing that a lot. But yeah, we'll see. This is what it's supposed to have. See, it says Anvil F7C M Mark II ball turret, and then when we go over here, I don't see that. So I think Urkel's just got it kind of messed up. So if we do it here, I don't think we can. Yeah. I don't think we can do it here. But that's the main reason I wanted the Heartseeker, is because there were two size fours here. So if we did another size four and added 400 to this, that put it into 3,000 DPS and a slightly higher alpha. What would that be? 84. So about close to 400 alpha. Or no, it wouldn't be an ADB4. It would be a C78. So no, no, it's not attritions either. Oh, it'd be the rhinos. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so over 3,000 DPS, and somewhere in the 300s for alpha damage. You got 8 missiles, which really, to me at this point, missiles are not used. I don't use missiles to be like, oh, if I hit you, that's going to do a lot of damage. I use them to force people to apply, you know, chaff and whatever, and apply countermeasures so that I can get more hits in while they're applying countermeasures. So yeah, that's really the main reason as far as right now. And then all this other stuff I don't particularly care about. We got to see what the range is on it. Um, but this looks adequate. You know, you can go from Microtech to ArcCorp and back without fueling, which is all I ever need, is to be able to get there and back without fueling. There and back one time. But this is what I don't like. So you have the plus 13% to the EM, IR, CS, and energy. Man. Oh, wait, was that minus 3%? No, it's plus 3% energy damage. And then is this one the same? Yeah, same. So we'll see. We'll see what it ends up being like. But if we compare to the Scorpius, which just has a ton of size threes, size three, size three, size three, size three, and then what is this? 4 size threes, another 4 size threes. So 8 size threes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is it? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 4 on the turret. So Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. One on each wing, and then four on the turret. So the Scorpius is another one where 4 size 3s is decent, but uh, I'd rather, if I'm gonna just go out, and I'd rather have 2 size 5s. Because if you look at the speed on this, right? So SCM speed 210, nav max speed 1100, and then you look at this, we're not looking at a massive difference. The nav max speed is much different, but the SCM speed, which is the main one that matters in this category, not much. But this is different. So the boost speed forward is 590, and backwards is 220. I don't really use it backwards, but the speed forward, that is a massive difference. But then again, they do serve two different roles. The Guardian QI is for punching up, and the Scorpius is for punching at its same weight class or smaller, right? So, yeah, depends on what you need them for. But yeah, this is the one I'm looking forward to. But if it doesn't make sense, I'm not gonna get it. What's up? What's up? Wasn't the wildfire basically just a skin and different base loadout? That's pretty much what the Heartseeker is as well. But I just feel like if you're gonna take these ships out of commission, you should add them back in as Mark IIs for all of them, right? Because they took all of them out and made it to where you couldn't purchase any of them. And the Wildfire, I didn't know a whole lot of people whose favorite fighter was the Wildfire, but there were some people who preferred that loadout, and like that skin that it came with and stuff. So yeah, they should just do all of them. It would be weird to only leave out the Wildfire after redoing all of the other versions. Let's see. Ball turret for the Heartseeker Mark II should have a bespoke drum dual Gatling. I would like that. It doesn't have that though. We already kind of know what it has, but I just think Urkel's thing isn't really getting it in yet. Sailcat, what's up? Skiach, welcome to the chat. Hey, a billionaire. Hope you're having a good stream. Question: if you were going to buy a starter pack for a friend who you want to introduce to Star Citizen, what would you pick? Ooh, that's interesting. I'd probably get them an Avenger Titan starter pack, just because it'll allow them to do a little bit of cargo and dogfighting. I think those are the two easiest things for somebody to do in the game, and being able to not need like, a massive, double, a massive double dual-handed rifle, uh, cargo gun to move stuff, and being able to, go and see the sights, making sure that you have to stop for fuel every time you go from planet to planet, so they can kind of learn the mechanics, and then repairing. What's up, Raygun? Yeah, so it really just, to me, I think that's what I would go with. However, the thing is, that's an old ship. The Avenger Titan is a kind of old ship, so it depends on what your friend is getting into the game for. If they're only looking at combat and they don't really care about anything else, you could still get them the Avenger Titan, but I would probably go for something like an Arrow, just because it's going to be. I don't know. It depends. I know a lot of people like the Avenger Titan and the way it looks, but I think the Arrow to me is a better looking ship. Or you could go. I don't know if the Hawk has a. I don't know if the Hawk has a starter pack, but I think the Arrow has a starter pack, and I'd probably go with that. It depends on what your friend is into though, but um, you can get the Intrepid. I just want, I know a lot of people are weary about how the Intrepid looks, but I don't mind the looks of the Intrepid, and that's another good one. But to me, the Avenger Titan is the slightly better ship, but the Avenger Titan does have the better interior, or the I'm not the Avenger Titan. The Intrepid has the better interior. So there's that. If they want to do ground vehicles, I'd probably go with the Cutter because then they can take a ground vehicle with them. The Avenger Titan, you can't do that. I don't. You can't do that with the Intrepid either. But I think you can fit the Pulse in there, but you know they probably wouldn't have one of those starting out. What's up, Blue 4? Med Runners was your first or Colton? Okay, didn't know that. Your Broncos didn't make it, so you're going for the Hot Wings. I respect it. No, don't really spend money on fighters. Yeah, I think I'm at the stage where like a lot of the rules don't apply, but at the same time, I think the rules are changing. I think the way that we used to look at ships is changing because when they announced that you're not going to be able to buy military ships, you're going to have to get the blueprints for them. I think that shifted a lot of the don't buy fighters logic for me. You can buy them. I just think make sure you get the one that you're going to use to its fullest capacity, right? So like I know a lot of people who own the Scorpius and they're solo players and they're like, I'm never gonna have a solo another person playing with me. So like why do you have a two-seater ship if you're never going to play with other people? Now, maybe they were being a little bit facetious and they actually will be playing with other people, but I just think I don't think people need 7 or 8 fighters, right? I think in my fleet I have here. Let's take a look at my fleet real quick. Let's see, load file. Let's take a look at old Billionaire's fleet. Now, I've already done a video on my fleet, so I'm not going to talk about everything that's on here, but where did I put it? Where did I put it? Let's do front view. Bam. Boom. And then there you go. All right, so here's my fleet. So let's look at my fighters here. All right. So the Razor EX is going to be gone because that's going to be replaced with this, the F7CM Heartseeker Mark II. This is the Mark I. I just changed this little thing to say Mark II. But just so you know, so this isn't like a sneak peek at like what it's going to look like. Yeah. So the Razor EX won't be there because this will be there. So actually, I can just delete this now. Well, I don't need to delete it because I'll get it back within like a few months, so it's fine. The P72 that came with the pack, so that came with my Phoenix Emerald. The Terrapin Medic isn't really a fighter, and the Emerald is a snub. So my F7A, that's my first fighter. So that is my, when I'm dealing with kind of smaller ships, not snubs, but like if I'm dealing with light fighters or medium fighters, I would prefer to take the F7A. If I'm dealing with more medium and heavy fighters, then I take the F8C. And even some like smaller ships, like if I was dealing with, you know, slower ships, like even a Vanguard series, if I was dealing with a MSR, anything in this range right here, like anything in this range, probably, except for the Star Lancer TAC maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That one's kind of unproven. Star Lancers, except for the TAC. Yeah, I'd take on a 600i with it. A2, probably not. I probably would stop here at the 600i. So they're all going to have different purposes, right? So the F7A for me is, like I said, small and medium fighters, or light fighters and medium fighters. The Heartseeker, if I have a pilot with me, or if I have a co-pilot with me, then one of the reasons I like this is because if I have a co-pilot with me, it can do light fighters, medium fighters, and heavy fighters. So it's like a one-stop shop. You hop in this thing and you should be able to take on pretty much any other fighter. Whereas the F8C, like I said, you're going to probably want to take on the larger fighters. Now, it is pretty fast, so you still could get some pretty good hits on some light fighters and stuff. This is the closest to being able to handle all three, I think. But this one is for sure going to be able to do it. And I have two of these, but reminder that I did not pay for these, technically. Technically, I did, because obviously to get this, you know how much money you have to spend. And to get this one. But I did not purchase these, so that's why. This is the only one that I purchased. Then, of course, it'll be that one. So then the Sentinel. So this one isn't really for me to. I don't have this one yet. This is a long term. You know, I'll have it by IAE most likely. Maybe not even IAE this year. This is a long term, see how cheap I can get it for type of thing. But I'm in no rush to get it, because the reason I'm going to get it is because it's going to be like my command and control ship. Like, I'll have two other people on this ship with me. One will be the pilot, one will be the gunner, and then I won't even be flying this for the most part. This will just be like, I need to go check on the troops type of ship. So it'll have disabling weapons on it and stuff like that, so that I can use it to, you know, disable people and get away. It's not really meant to go up in a fight. It's meant to slow you down so that I can get away, and also allow me to travel everywhere that I need to travel so that I can check on the troops, like I said. And then that's it. So those are my fighters. They're all right there. You know, so when I say, you know, purchase fighters, you got to purchase them for what you want to use them for, right? So like, I have my medium and heavy, I have my 2-person, and I have my light and medium, and then I have my snubs. So it's, you know, this is as far as I would go, right? Like, I don't need an additional fighter here. I think at that point you need to start stepping up to things like the TAC. Yeah, the A2 if you have a bunch of people with you. A lot of people sleep on the capabilities of the A2, because they're like, well, if you're not dropping a bomb, why are you in an A2? The thing has, what is it, 4 or is it 6? I think it has 6 places for gunners. Let's go check that out real quick, actually. I can't remember. All right, so let's see. Turrets, one size 4. Okay, so 2 size 4s on every turret, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. And is this one empty? I think it's just doing this across the board. It's 8. Yeah, it's 8. Unless I'm just tripping, but I'm pretty sure this is 8. Look at all the people that you can pop on to here. Yeah, so anyway, that's enough fleet stuff. Yeah, I think if you I wouldn't say losing the Razor EX I'm upgrading it, and then I'll get the Razor EX back, because right now I don't need the Razor EX as much as I would use something like the Mark II, the Heartseeker Mark II. Radium TX, yes. It depends, because I just saw something on Urkel that kind of made my head spin a little bit. So we'll see what the actual stats are on it when it releases. But yes, the Razor EX is only temporarily leaving the fleet. It will make a return. What's up, Perillium? What's up, Stratcat? What's up, Dugale? Let's see. Anybody else hop in here? What's up, Citizen Ninja? Matthew Ward, what's up? Um, yeah, Razor EX is my go-to for planet-side Merc missions in Pyro. Look at that. Uh, what's up, Tanya? Let's see. How can I buy the F7C M Heartseeker? So the Heartseeker is not for sale yet. You have to wait until Coromore starts, which should be February 14th. So about 6 days, and you should be able to purchase it. Wildfire loadout was based off Aria O'Reilly's personally selected loadout preferences and the livery honoring her iconic ship. So I wonder if the lore alone would keep a Mark II from being made. That's a good point. That's a good point. But technically, a Mark II is just an upgraded version, so they could do the exact same loadout in a Mark II variant with like better armor and better, they could keep the guns exactly the same and then give it some other thing, like better shields or better armor, or lower signatures. They could do something else like that. But that is a good reason to not make a Mark II. Now, I'm only asking for a Mark II for other people, because I'm not going to buy a Wildfire, so I don't. Whether or not they make a Mark II of that isn't really relevant to me. How was my fight for Pyro? So I tried to log in both Monday and Wednesday and Tuesday, actually. No, was that Tuesday? No, it might have been Thursday. Might have been Thursday. What's today? Today's Saturday. So yeah, I think it was Thursday. So yeah, I tried to log in. I wasn't able to log in Monday, wasn't able to log in Wednesday, but I was able to log in on Thursday, and I just took that time to get some footage of the FHC Lightning Executive so that I could show it for that video that I just did. So go check out I did my top 10 best looking ships in Star Citizen, which I know people have like drastically different opinions on the looks of ships. So it's perfectly fine if you didn't like any of my picks. And who knows? They might change over the years. I'll keep looking. I really just wanted to go with my heart on this one though. So like, I didn't. I looked at the ships, and then I just went. I took the heart pick, right? Like I didn't overanalyze or anything. But as I go throughout the year, maybe the second edition of that next February, maybe there'll be some new picks on there. I think a big advantage with the Heartseeker will be you can use all weapons solo, but you will be able to pick up a buddy who had to eject. Is that the thing? Can you use all of them solo? I thought you couldn't use the extra size fours. I thought the extra size fours were only for the co-pilot. Let's see. I like the M2 the most personally. M2, yeah, the M2 is definitely better priced. My problem with the M2 is that it doesn't differentiate itself enough from the C2. Like you get the extra armor and then you get the extra place, you get the extra bed and then you get a turret spot. And to me, I just don't think that's enough to justify what is it, $120 more than the C1 or the C2. So to me, I can't really get behind it because the ironclad assault is going to be a thing. And I think the ironclad assault is going to outdo it. And I also think the Star Lancer tack is going to outdo it. So I think it needs a slight rework. Like it needs a few upgrades, a few bumps up to be worth that $520 price. There is always talk about a command ship. Do you think they will ever design a capital specifically for coordinating large operations, not necessarily combat? And if so, which manufacturer? I don't think it'll be specifically for coordinating large operations. I think they're going to want you to do that from a space station, or they're going to want you to do that from a ship that already has another capability. So if you go and look at the Idris videos when they were talking about the interior, they have a massive meeting room in the Idris. And if you look at ships like the 890 Jump, massive meeting room with like this huge, I think it's, what is it, like it's either oval or triangular table that they have. Massive meeting room. So like you can definitely coordinate operations from that. The Carrack, even, it has that big map table and it can do chart jumping, of course, or jump charting, jump, what am I? Jump point charting? I don't know why I couldn't say that. But yeah, so I if they were to do a command and control ship, it would still have to defend itself and stuff like that. So maybe a complete, like a super defensive ship that was like heavily focused on armor and speed with like very little weapons or only disabling weapons, all bespoke, something like that. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is like going to be things like the javelin when those come online, because the javelin has that massive bridge that's like the size of a medium ship. So like that's where I'm guessing you'll get your coordinating large operations type of thing. Kraken is, you could say the Kraken is kind of a command ship, but it's mostly cargo. I think the Idris is more of a command ship than the Kraken, but the Kraken does have places where your troops can land. So this is why I prefer the Kraken to the Idris in a lot of different scenarios. Like if you could only own one, I would own the Kraken instead of the Idris, because to me, I'll put ships on top of those pads that can take down the Idris, right? So like all those small pads, I would have like eclipses or uh, you know, gladiators or something that can shoot lots of missiles. Most likely eclipses, and then on those medium pads, I'd probably have some retaliators on there, you know, and they can go do damage along with, of course, the Kraken doing its own damage. If anyone gets upset because they disagree, they can make their own video. Blue Four, you got a great point there, but at the same time, like I'm trying to be, I try to be open to constructive criticism. So if people are saying, this ship doesn't look that great to me or whatever, then well, I can accept it. All right. We hit an hour, folks. We already hit an hour, so we got to end the stream soon. So get those last questions in, and we will find somebody to hop over to and raid. Let me see if I can catch up on some of these while people are putting their last ones in though. Let's see. Kraken feels like more like a market ship. Yeah, they want people to land on it, go inside, buy stuff. If you got the privateer. OZ gnarly one. What's up, Pyrel? Oh, I might have already said what's up, but that's okay. Did I skip a question? No, I did not. It's like the Super OZ gnarly one. It's like the Super Hornet pilot gets them unless there's a co-pilot. Oh, pilot gets them unless there's a co-pilot. Okay, that's cool. If you're just gonna have all those guns as a pilot, that might be a little OP actually. Citizen Ninja said it must have been the hardest to pick the best looking Origin ship since they all look great. It was very difficult actually. Origin I did have trouble with. I thought it was gonna be obvious, but it wasn't. It was between like I think I liked the 600i Executive Edition, the uh the 325A, the 890 Jump, and I think the 400i. There was one. I think there was one of the 400. Maybe I like the Meridian paint, but I think the Deck the Holes paint was pretty good too. Yeah. So those were like the top four, but that's pretty much all the Origin ships, right? So I had to start cutting them off. So I started looking for reasons to cut them off, and I ended up with the 600i Executive Edition being my favorite one out of all of them. But it was close with the 325A. I think that ship looks awesome, and it's just a tiny package too. Well, with the new ship damage system and whatnot, and the M2 being a military ship, will give you more survivability compared to a C2. But yeah, money wise, not that enticing. Yep, yep. I think that's my thing with the M2. I just wish it was. It definitely has more survivability than the C2. You're definitely right there. I just wish it differentiated a little bit more. I wish it. I think this is what I would do. I would add. I would add another turret to the M2 to give it two, and I would add another bed to give it five people that can stay in it, and I would probably give it some other pilot controlled gun, um, or some other purpose. Like, I mean, it does. It really is more of a ground combat ship, right? Like you're supposed to be, patrolling your area with the M2, and being able to fly back into atmosphere and take care of anybody that lands or is trying to fight your people on the ground. But yeah, it's hard for me to say I'm gonna pick the M2 over the Ironclad Assault, because the Ironclad Assault can carry what, twice as much cargo, actually more than twice as much cargo, um, and it has a lot more utility overall than the M2. But the M2 will be faster. So, but I guess with me, I don't particularly care about speed when it comes to that size of a ship. So that's probably why I'm more leaning towards the Ironclad Assault. This is how I see the Paladin working. Only needs two to man all guns, but if you have friends who play every now and then, now you can have better fields of fire. The Paladin won't work like that though. They did confirm that the Paladin's guns are manned. Those are all manned. Uh, I think the side guns are manned at least. I don't know if that big uh, that size 5 that goes from the top to the bottom. I don't know if that one's manned. Let's see. Capital Command that could act as forward mobile base for large org that can act as a hub for different loops. Larger landing zone, ready response wing on standby, multiple star map rooms for coordinating. I think I get what you mean. The thing is, I I also, how do you differentiate that from a like from a player owned space station? Because that seems like a space, like it sounds like you're describing a space station. The more that you talk about it, the more I'm like, that's a space station. So like you have to differentiate it from a space station by giving it something that makes sense for it to be a ship. Because like something like that doesn't sound like it should be flying around a whole lot. It sounds like it should have like a uh like what, let me give you an example. What I think you're talking about would be something like the telescope on the Endeavor. So if you put that telescope on the Endeavor, I think you basically have what you're talking about. You can kit the Endeavor out to be more command and control, and then you have the front cab that can leave, and yeah, you can even have like the thing for the hospital where where medical ships were going to be able to land. You can have that attached to it so that you can have other ships that can go in and land on it and report in and report out. Yeah, so you can have that thing. Remember that the idea of the Endeavor is that that thing can fly into the corona of the sun, right? So it can fly that close, right? So no other ship could get to it, which makes it perfect for command and control, right? Because unless you have an Endeavor, you can't even get close to it. And then, not to mention, because it's the most modular ship in the game, they can always just add pieces to it to make it more command and control friendly. So they can add, extra, like you said here, a larger landing zone, ready response wing. You said multiple star map rooms. All of that stuff they can add as things that you can pop onto the Endeavor. So that I see that making a lot of sense, because then they're just adding things onto the Endeavor, and it's like you could either purchase this or not, but then they don't have to build a whole ship out of it. But yeah, I think you can build it. I think you can build it. Let's see. M2 should be an A2 without the bombs. Not quite. It needs to be a little less than the A2. I think the M2 should have at least two places where people can be turret gunners, because it's too big to not have that. And then I think the pilot should have another gun. Um, or if they made it the A2 without the bombs, they'd probably have to charge 650 for it, because the A2 750, and if it had all those qualities, I don't think you'd get as many people buying the A2, because a lot of people don't need the guns from the bombs from the A2. I actually, weirdly enough, I bought the A2 as my ship where I'm flying with a lot of people, and I know that all we're going to be doing is like going around, you know, um, fighting things, and I don't want to pull out the Polaris. So everybody hops in a turret seat because there's so many of them, and then we just go out and fight things, right? And then obviously, if we want to drop some bombs, we can, but that's kind of not necessary. And I don't think I would be doing the size 10 blow everything up bombs. I think I would be more of a carpet bombing type, where it's just going to be loaded up with a bunch of carpet bombs, and we could just cover the entire battlefield. They are turning focus away from new feature development to working on the current version. See the 3-hour vid. Yep. Features aren't dropped, just we won't see that much new features this year. I appreciate it. Side guns on Paladin go to pilot if not manned, unless they changed it again. The side guns, yes. So it has. Let's look at the Paladin. I don't remember all the stats on it, and then we have to jump. Actually, let's find who we're going to jump to first, and then we'll go look at the Paladin as kind of our last thing. Let's see, channel. We're going to jump to Lenora. When we raid, we will raid Lenora. All right, let's go back. Hold on. Let's go check out what are we checking out? Oh, it was the Paladin. Um, so let's see. Loner, VTOL, engineering, escape pods, production, storage, armored. Yes. So it says yes, if there is nobody in the seats that control the wing weapons, then the pilot has control of them. But they are locked forward in that forward arc. Due to their location, their convergence is limited frontally, so they're only suitable for targets at mid to long distance. However, when independently controlled, they have full freedom of motion and can look pretty much in a full 180-degree arc in all directions, allowing players to engage targets below, above, and behind. So you have four size fours. Those side turrets are size fours. So you got four size fours that you're controlling as a pilot. The size five is the one that's completely held by the gunner. So you need a gunner for that. So yeah, you can operate it with two people. You really only need two people. But again, you won't be able to really fire at those targets that get up close. So people who understand that will probably get right up on your face as they shoot. But if they're smart enough to even remember that in the first place. But yeah, only needing two people for it, that's a pretty good ship. If I don't like the Heartseeker, maybe I'll get a Paladin, and then that'll be more fun for people. I like me getting a Paladin. I've been able to like stay away from ships like the Paladin because I was like, I don't really need it. I don't really need it. It's kind of big if I'm just taking two people out with me, and it's not like a fighter because it's got the size fours locked forward for the one person, and then it's got the size fives. Even though it's four size fives. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. Oh, Sailcat, thank you for the gifted subs. Much appreciation. Sailcat always coming through with stuff like that. I appreciate it. Yeah, so Gasoline Moth, you definitely benefit more from a full crew. I think the idea is they want people to be able to use the ship when there's only one person, but I also think that they want to optimize it for people who play the game with other people. So like for me, the Heartseeker is going to be obviously faster than the Paladin. It's not going to have the size fives though, but I think it'll have pretty much the same like ability to fight things off, except it can't take out the larger targets like the Paladin will. But yeah, I think optimization is the better path for me. I don't really need a large fighter like that because if I'm getting to that big of a ship, um, I'm probably getting something else. I'm probably going to take out my Perseus, right? Like, you have to convince me that it's not better to take out my Perseus than to take out my Paladin. Now, the Paladin is probably going to be a little faster, uh, probably better at taking out ground targets, so I can see reasons. But again, I have an A2 for that, so I probably just take out my A2, which is going to have a ton of people in it. But again, if we're just talking about two people, then the Paladin is still better because you can rotate that turret to the bottom, and then really that's all you need to be pointing at people is four size fives. So yeah, but then again, I have four size fives on my Constellation, on my Connie Phoenix. So this is what I'm saying. Like I have so many ships at this point that like every time I tried to push the Paladin in, I found but I have this ship. Oh, I have this. Oh, I have this. So it's like That's why I don't own a Paladin. But I do have a CCU just in case. I always keep a CCU handy. All right, let's do our raid, folks. Let's see if I do it right. Yeah. Okay, we're going to Lenora. Thanks for coming, folks. Thanks for watching. I did an extra 20 minutes here, but much appreciation to everybody who watched. Why not get the Heartseeker and the Paladin? Money, 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 money. I've already given this game way too much money. I'm Praetorian at this point. They will not get me to Legatus without years going past. If I ever get to Legatus, it'll be because I gave way too many ships out to people, so that'll probably happen in the next 3 or 4 years. But it'll be because I was purchasing ships and giving them to people. It won't be because I bought that many ships for me. So, all right, folks. We are heading out to Lenora. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one, which should be Monday. So come back 5 p.m. Monday. All right. Later, folks. Do 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 do.